Okay, so the hypothesis of this experiment is that there's a correlation between teachers' expectancies and over and underestimating of the students and their total GPA scores and their IQ scores. In this experiment, they found that at a young age, if a teacher over or underestimates a student, it'll affect their GPA at an older age. So they can calculate the over and underestimation that a teacher gives a student by first grade. They can tell what their GPA will be by the age of 15. They also found that young children are more influenced by their teachers' reactions, and they are more susceptible to a flux in their GPA than older students are. And then in this experiment, it also found that about the age of fourth and fifth graders is when the students start thinking less of what the teachers are and have kind of already accepted how smart or unsmart that the teacher's bias has given them. So then their GPA is pretty much set at that point in their course for their education. This experiment also found that there's a correlation between the socioeconomic background, and they found that children of the poor middle class are more easily influenced by what their teachers think of them than students of a rich background. So here's a graph that was shown in our article, and you can see that first and second graders are greatly influenced by what their teachers think of them, and by about fourth grade that they kind of stopped giving what their influence is. And then it kind of spikes up again in fifth and sixth grade, but it pretty much levels out from there. So teachers can either consciously or subconsciously over or underestimate their students, and they tend to underestimate the students that are loud and disruptive in class, even if they're not told that they're not gifted. But there is no correlation between the race of the student and their demographic background. But teachers can also overestimate their students subconsciously by making more eye contact with them, just calling them more in class or giving them more constructive criticism than they would just their average student. This is important in today's world because this experiment shows that teachers of lower grades have a great influence on the academic future of their students, and it can show that if they overestimate each student the same, that the chances of the student succeeding later on in their academic life can be much greater. And it also shows that a teacher can, even though they not try, subconsciously underestimate their students just by not looking at them or not calling them on class, and that can also have a drastic effect on their academic background. That's it.